fast, it's definitely a deal breaker.
This is where I start pressuring Nike.
There we go, seeing that little dip in the dirt. Nike doing it on the way out. And as we were discussing before this race, this was recorded on my previous computer, so going forward we'll be able to see the replays with the highest quality and proper 1080p going forward, thankfully. So no more 720p and no more medium graphics. But even with that, this game is gorgeous. And there you go, off the track in the uphill. Looks like he might have just missed the braking point and had to go wide.
I think losing the second position at the start of the race really got into my head, I think. That's where I was just making mistake after mistake. And then I believe I end up having to do a drive-through towards the end.
I think so, yeah.
There's no really good battles going on, maybe between Finesse and Ghost.
It's getting closer. Ghost can definitely close. Ooh, yeah, that line from Ghost was a lot better. So here comes the gap closer. They're already, yeah, within more than 20 or 2 tenths of each other.
Battle starting. Ghost is going to start
right on the
Finesse.
Although Finesse did a really good job using that inside curve. Like, he can definitely get a little bit closer to it. Or kill the Ghost, not Nike.
Ghost definitely has a better entry, but Finesse gets the better exit overall.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to have our season contender from last season join us for this session, Carlos, but hopefully he'll be joining us soon, because he would have definitely been putting work against all of us.
Put you up for your money. As Ghost makes a mistake.
That will be a cut from the Stewards, for sure. And here's the camera acting out again as we see if we keep track on that mini-map. They're still keeping it nice and close. They get 2 warnings before they get the drive-through penalty with track cutting.
Well, I'm starting to pressure Nike again.
Yeah, back up. And racing, UK was fishtailing back there, so he's lost a lot of time putting him almost, 3 seconds back. That's wild. It looks like I made a mistake on this turn because I just saw everybody's times drop, so I'm starting to feel that tire wear kicking in as we're using that 2 times tire wear from the season. Oh yeah, here you are. You're staying right on his tail end.
On his bumper.
I love the bump drafting. Yeah, no, that's clean racing. We don't mind the bump drafting as long as it's not hindering anybody. It kept you in pace and it kept him back on the track. So in our last races,
blocked it.
Oh, yeah, he almost left the door open. But sometimes that is key. If people start working together to catch up with those faster guys in the front.
Yeah, see I just did it there where how on my left outside tire there was right in the dirt going over that curve.
It's wonderful. Because while these things are somewhat
I did it again for that corner.
Yeah. They're just high enough off the ground that they still clear a lot of the sausage curves on a lot of tracks. Red Bull Ring is also one we see it a lot of.
Oh, Nike makes a mistake. We go too wide through this corner.
And you set up the switchback. They both go off into the dirt. Oh, that's going to be wonderful for you. So you're able to pass him. And here we go into lap 7. Oh my gosh, this is caught up to me as well.
I think you made a mistake during that lap.
Like I said, that tire wear, I definitely was being a little too aggressive with my lead at the start and trying to keep it. I wasn't pacing myself well. So my front tires were starting to get a lot more cooked. Yeah, even then you can see them sliding out.
You definitely want to use your brake a lot to rotate these cars. Oh, wow, you saw that smoke kick up.
Oh, here he comes. Is he going to get the pass?
Yeah.
He takes it. All right. But I'm back around on the outside. I'm going to have advantage going into the next turn. Oh,
a little bit of bumping. Side by side again. Oh, we're still going side by side. As I'm starting to catch up while you're battling.
Yeah. That fight's not making anything easier for us. But we keep it clean as we go up towards the corkscrew. And you're capitalizing. There you go, taking second. Back where you belong from the start. Come on, Cameron. Here we go.
Oh,
and right on my rear end now.
Yeah. Try to take a wide line through there, but you help the inside.
But Finesse isn't far off either. He's going to be able to capitalize on that fight as we go door to door again.
Oh yeah!
3 wide towards turn 1.
Intense 3 wide through here. No, like a little bit of contact, but we all cleared that corner.
It was clean, but now we have a fight for first out of 5 people. I'm able to pull up. His everybody goes door to door, but that's not going to last too long.
Finesse gets a good run on
Finesse, yeah. Here he goes on the outside.
I should be able to defend it from turn 1 going into the braking zone here. Yeah, I get a really good
here
line
it comes.
Through here.
You're able to take that advantage and shove him out, and it looks like Nike's able to take advantage too of that situation. He's going to be able to contend with Finesse now.
Still side by side with Finesse.
Nike
pushes me off.
Tapped just a little bit with that 3 wide.
I believe that's where I get drive through. I think I fall all the way back down the grid again.
Definitely see if you end up going through the pits on this, we're going to have to take that into consideration because that is something I didn't realize.
A little contact between me and Ghost.
That is what's wonderful about these cars is they don't get unsteady when you accidentally tap or anything like that. The worst you can do is a pit maneuver, and even then these cars half the time will still recover from that.
I believe in comms, once I fell back with Ghost, me and him were just battling for the rest of the race and we were giggling the entire time because there was just light contacts here and there.
Yeah,
oh, there it is. I'm going into the drive.
We'll definitely take that into consideration once we go into editing for the video. There may even be some results changes with that.
Finesse is not letting you get away.
No, he's not. And
you're
there, which is surprising. That definitely means my tires are starting to go out because I do run on low ABS, which usually prevents these cars from locking up unless you're really screwing
pushing.
Yeah. Oh, and I see him go off in the back there. It looks like Ghost was off track. Yep, you overtook him. So even with that drive-through penalty, we run a high-speed pit limiter, so that way the drive-through penalties aren't as egregious as would be the 21-second penalty the game normally gives you.
I believe we go side by side through that corner.
Yeah, you guys are fighting for it back there for sure.
And then we're going to go side by side through this corner as well.
Laguna Seca definitely provides good opportunities for fighting. It's a nice wide track, even though there's a lot of tight turns. Things get back up to speed real fast.
And these minis, they allow you to go side by side without like any major mistakes.
No, it's really nice. They don't shove out too much. If anything, sometimes the person on the outside actually will push the person on the inside back in.
It's really good racing.
And so I know we're coming close to the race as we're entering lap 9. We're usually seeing about 1:34 per lap. So with that, 1.5 with 15 minutes on the clock, we're definitely getting closer to the end of this race.
I believe this is the final lap.
This should be the last lap coming up, yeah. Because if we look at the AI is kind of our timer for this race. We just saw him enter the 15 minutes and we're not done yet. So we're going to start seeing our final battles going on here as you dive for that inside with beautiful braking. Although it looks like a switchback happened back there. But Finesse also keeping it up, and Nike not too far off behind. They may be both wearing the Shift name, but it looks like we're both fighting Finesse right now. As we come into the uphill towards the corkscrew, oh, beautiful finesse. He's staying right on my tail and getting the better line out as I try to defend the corkscrew. Squeezing him out just as much as possible and forcing him to get behind my braking line. And you've created a gap yourself from the two in the back. Here we go with finesse. And there you go. You see my tires. You can see the car is not really gripping like it should be. Here we go into the final turn of the race. And finesse sets up for a very strange switchback going back to the outside, but he gets the better line doing so. Taking over first position at the end of the race in the end straight. That was beautiful from finesse with that wonderful catch up. You yourself also doing good to catch up back to fourth and stay in the middle at that points. So we had myself, finesse. Let's go back and see those results. Finesse, myself, Nike, Darius here, racing, and Ghost. Lots of close racing. What did you think of that, Darius?
It was definitely an intense race with all the battling going on in the different parts of the track.
It was unfortunate, but I will be reviewing that incident again, seeing what happened. Because now that I realize, I thought it was just normal track cutting that gave the drive-through, because we were in the heat of the race, obviously. But that will be taken under review. We may have to change the results. I have to see who caused the incident. So thank you for joining me, and he should be joining me for at least the next race of this session, if not the final one. We'll see what happens. Any thoughts going into the first season? Anything you want to talk about otherwise?
No, not really. I'm just looking forward to the next couple races. Fortunately, I won't be here for this upcoming couple, but I will try to be there for the next closer, like next months and stuff.
And so today we drove onto the track with myself in pole position, joined by newcomer Captain Ahab, newcomer Rad, and then we have Darius himself, Racing UK, Finesse, and Shift Matt. So, a couple of different people, despite us being in the same session. That is what's nice about these sessions, is as long as you make it to one of the races, you can participate in it and get your points from that race. And here we go, heading into the opening of Historic Spielberg. This is a really fast-paced sector one. And unlike normal Spielberg, it's a lot longer. We don't have that first turn that kind of slows us down. And then we do head into a heavy braking section, but we're still heading up it at least minimum third gear.
Oh yeah. And these cars do not have the downforce for that corner.
No, not at all. The inclines, the curvature of this track is so much weirder when it's old.
Especially the off-camber corner.
Definitely. There's a lot of them on this track too. This is one of them. It can definitely push you to the outside if you're not slowing down enough. But if you do slow down enough and get back to that inside, the downhill will push you out super fast, as you're seeing me do. I'm able to pull ahead of everybody.
Yeah, you're taking an early lead.
This is probably the only turn on the track that is very similar to the modern Spielberg. You still hit it in third gear. You're still just kind of feathering the throttle as it goes down. But then we go back to what feels like a completely different track again. This is another corner where if you're not careful, you'll get thrown into the grass off to the outside, and you're hitting that barrier right there. And so it looks like Rad, Ahab, and SS Racing are having a really good fight up here with you starting to catch up to them as we finish up our first lap.
Yeah. Them battling was allowing me to catch up a little.
And so with this track, we're seeing about 2-minute laps. So we're going to see about 5 to 6 laps total. It is a little bit of a lengthier track compared to its modern counterpart, and compared to what we saw at Laguna's Sake with about 1.5 laps.
I believe I had a really good run coming up this hill there, and I just sent it inside.
Ooh, yeah, not enough braking.
He
And racing takes
closed the
himself
gap.
out, unfortunately.
He closed the gap a little bit. I couldn't direct the car where I needed to point it.
So in that collateral, it looks like Captain Ahab did get collected, unfortunately. So that will have to be reviewed later, and we'll take a look at the results. But for now, we'll continue with the race. So it looks like up ahead, I'm leading by about a second, which isn't crazy. Rad definitely has a chance to catch up. But Finesse and Matt are close enough that if either one of them either makes a mistake or capitalizes, they can catch up to each other and start having a good fight back there. And it looks like we had somebody off track. It looks like Matt might have gone off into the grass there. And that's what's rough about this track.
A lot of tire marbles on the outside of those corners. That's probably what happened there.
Exactly. That's definitely the more rough thing about this track. There's no sand traps. There's no gravel. It's grass. If you're off, you're sliding. It's hard to get back on track. It's definitely not favorable, so it's always good to have that reset button available. We do allow that button to be used as long as it's not disrupting other people with an unsafe replay.
Looking like there's too much accident going on at the moment.
Yeah, the race with that accident, it definitely split up the group a little bit. So we're not going to see too much action here in the middle half of the race, but Rad's slowly catching up. He's definitely getting more speed in these straights. As long as he keeps his exits good, he'll be able to catch up in no time. Even there, yeah, you can see at every 100 this is dropping off. Slowly making his progress towards me. Now, to be honest, I haven't quite established what the draft range is in these cars, because they don't really benefit from draft unlike a lot of cars.
Yeah, they don't.
Maybe the side draft they kind of benefit from, but yeah, front end to rear end, no, I don't typically ever feel the draft kick in until you're already almost on their bumper to begin with.
Yeah, it's a very small window. They're not shaped the way a NASCAR is, especially, so.
Exactly that. It's a hatchback. It is truly a traditional hatchback shape, so it's not really made to produce aerodynamics for others. It's truly just made to push forward. Because it's not uncommon that we see hatchbacks in disciplines such as rally. It's very common there, because they're not typically going up against other cars. They're going up against their own times. But when you're putting them wheel to wheel like this, they definitely have different dynamics for most race cars.
They use these hatchbacks specifically because of how short they are. They do some great turning.
And I can definitely attest to that as somebody who gets to drive one of these, not this exact model, but the 2014 S Cooper. And they definitely handle very uniquely, but for a car that you think may get something like speed shakes or anything like that, no, they drive so stable, it's insane. And even at high speeds, they can very quickly and precisely maneuver. Whether it's on track to get around somebody or in real life, I've actually had a few times now already where our Arizona freeways quite often have debris on them. We have a lot of working trucks and things like that. Things get dropped, and in my regular car, my Hyundai Accent, that thing is taking way too many beatings just from not being able to maneuver it. But in the Mini Cooper, that thing is nimble as hell.
Wouldn't expect anything less from Mini. Going right back to the 60s with their original Cooper. Those beautiful cars.
I'm realizing Finesse changed his livery for this track, for this race, and that totally threw me off. I thought he was SS for a moment.
I believe I was catching up to him, but I was losing a lot of time because I was going onto those curves and crossing the white line, which may have caused another drive-through. this season for me.
Ooh, and he definitely makes a mistake. He didn't slow down enough. And as I said earlier, these turns will suck you to the outside of that barrier. So you are able to take it up to third. All things considered from the start of the race, this is a good recovery. But knowing that you were the one that did not brake in time, that penalty may come back to bite you later. All right, we see Matt starting to attack Captain Ahab, but making a very interesting line. It's not really ideal to cut to the outside on these high-speed chases. Yeah, it definitely seems like Matt just didn't really decide where he wanted to go there and just made a really awkward line through that whole section. So Captain's going to be able to keep that second ahead of him just for now. And I'm noticing it looks like, unfortunately, racing has retired from the race. There now is a race between 6 people.
It's a challenging track, especially if you haven't practiced it all that much in these cars.
It definitely does not follow what you'd expect from even other historic traditional tracks. Like, it definitely has its own rules you have to follow. Maybe in some versions of historic Monza, there's some similar sections with those downhill turns where they can kind of suck you to the outside, but a lot of this track feels very unique.
I believe they didn't even have the chicanes back then, so it was all throttle.
Pretty much, yeah. Monza was one of the first few that introduced chicanes in some of their historical bands. But a lot of tracks back then, or as you see here, lots of nice, long, wide curves for the cars to kind of carry themselves around for those RPMs to stay up. So Captain's going to pull away from Matt. Matt made a little too many mistakes. So we pulled a racing POV from the pits as they pull ahead on their next lap. And we're getting close to the end of this race here. It's entering into the 11th minute, so we're probably only going to see maybe 2 or 3 more laps here.
Let's rate them 2-minute laps.
This is definitely a track I would love to see revisited with a lot more racers on track because it's a high-speed track. It lives up to the name high-speed, right? So often, like we see in NASCAR, having a lot of drafting going on, things like that, it's not a bad thing to see. It's often what makes quite a fun race at this kind of track.
You can get some crazy top speeds in the straight with drafting for sure.
100%. You're usually
I go off.
Looks like you took off into that grass, and yeah, as we said, it's no sand, no gravel. So once you're off, you're going wide, and we're seeing that finesse is very quickly catching up to you on the mini map.
I believe
cut and frame now.
I have a drive-through after that one. You might see me fly into the pits and then fly out behind finesse.
Yeah, so we set that pit speed to 140. So with a short pit at a track like this, you're not technically having to slow down too much since it's right after this long section. So you see it here. Yep, into the pit.
Hard into the pit, yeah.
Slowing down just enough. And it looks like you're going to come out either just before. Yeah, it looks like you're going to come out ahead of Ahab, so he's going to be able to capitalize on his full speed, but you'll be able to defend that inside and compromise his line. Although he is flying, but you do a good job of squeezing him out there. Beautiful work. Yeah, making sure to be careful that he's not going to get torpedoed again.
Definitely
so it looks like the next lap will be our last lap as we look at the timer, having only 2 minutes left in the race.
Some tough braking
And he
spells.
managed to. Oh, good. He compromises your line with his bad line, but you did a good job staying on the inside there. And honestly, even right now, you're both making progress towards finesse.
Yeah, it's because those two corners, they're off camber, and if you don't hit the braking point right, you're just washing off the track.
Exactly. You have to let that trail braking kick in just a little bit at the beginning, and then you let that just feather throttling do the rest of the work. Ahab getting an amazing line out of there. You can see him pulling away.
Right into the tire marble. Not ideal.
So this will be our final lap as we go into it.
Well, I went
Just
into
touching
the grass.
a little bit. Beautiful late braking. Just past the 100 mark. And here we are cutting back to the front. It's been a quiet race for me and Rad. Neither of us coming quite near each other. Yeah, even there you can see it. Rad just getting sucked out to that outside just a tiny bit.
Really struggling with that.
I can tell. I heard that shift down to second gear. And there we go. Taking my victory strides as I cross the finish line first. Rad coming up in second. But we're not done yet, as Finesse and Ahab definitely are still going at it in this last turn. Anything can happen if Finesse makes a mistake. Ahab has a grip line, but doesn't quite carry the speed to get past Finesse. So that has Finesse, Ahab, yourself, Fish, and then Matt with our 6, since we know that SS has retired from this race. So definitely could have been a tighter race. We saw the incident at the beginning kind of spread out the pack, but overall everybody kind of had their little fights. It was not the most exciting, but it's a point turner. That's what matters. Other than that, that's gonna go ahead.
I said that it is a point turner.
And sometimes that's all that matters. As we saw in Season 0, the shift guys only showed up for the very last session of the season. And one of them still managed to get, I think, third in the whole, it was 40s. 40s got third in the whole season.
I believe
so
I came runner-up as well, I believe.
You were 4th, and then, we had, because it was me, Carlos, 40s, and then yourself. You were correct. But yeah, that's going to be that for race 2 of session 1. And so here we go off with the helicopter cam leading us away. Brad taking pole position, as we said. Everybody lining up as we head into that high-speed first turn. High-speed entry. Heavy braking. That's the words I'm using for it.
As you go and dive the inside of Rad.
And I just love the camera angles produced by this track as well. Mixed with our camera tools built in from the game. And we have a strong start from everybody. We're only having less than a 3-second gap between everybody, so that's a wonderful start to a Long Beach race. And it's good to see everybody making as much use of the track as possible in some of these turns. Because if you don't, you really just don't have the speed coming out of it. In my case, using too much of the track, apparently.
You definitely lose pace if you don't go and get close to those walls. You have to capitalize on the amount of space you have. There's like no shortage.
Yeah, I was definitely pushing a little too hard. As you can see, I'm kicking it out, scratching the walls.
I was definitely
I think by this
applying
point in the
pressure.
session, yeah, after leading for so long in the session, I'm definitely feeling that exhaustion.
I am very good on this track, and I told myself at the start of the race I was not taking no for an answer. I was gonna have a good race this time around.
He said, "It is agent time. It is time to go double O blue and take the track." Ooh, and we saw Finesse going sideways into the wall back there. Matt making his way past him. That's an unfortunate place to crash out because that tire barrier, if you hit it sideways, it's going to spin you out.
Yeah.
He's just finally recovering from it now. That's an unfortunate hit for Finesse back there.
All the space on the track. Almost hitting the wall there.
I'm wondering if the same thing was happening to him.
Giving you a little pressure on the inside there.
Tapping my rear end just a little bit with your front end.
Giving you a little push down the straight. And then I poked my nose right just before the braking zone. Brake really hard. You end up keeping it. Still applying pressure through this section.
I'm responding to it. You can see me making those small little
keeping it really tight.
Defense. Oh, and Ahab back into that wall after the hairpin. But a beautiful forward line as the top four go back into lap 3 now.
Heavy braking zone coming up here. Tap to
God,
the
I
wall.
love that camera angle.
It's so tight at the front right now. Everybody's applying pressure and they're feeling the pressure.
At this point of the session, we had done multiple practices that were at least anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes long, multiple qualifiers that were anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes long, each race being 15 minutes. Everybody definitely is more in tune with these cars at this point, but at the same time, like I was saying, I was feeling the exhaustion by this point. I'm sure Finesse was too, as he was fighting for first in some races.
Ooh,
even there, yeah, another one of us scraping the wall.
Luckily for us, damage is off for this races, but if that was real life, that would have been the retirement.
Yes, it would. We do run cosmetic damage. One, it's always funny to see when somebody's been a little banged up, and two, it does help us determine in some accidents where the damage was caused and who was more responsible.
I believe I fell back after that hit. Keep pressuring Rad.
But with me and Rad fighting up there, anything's still possible, especially with these tight turns coming up.
Me just focusing on my line. And because Rad's holding you up a little bit, I'm able to get right back on you guys.
That is the problem with this section. It's not easy. Ooh, car's off the ground.
I turned on my hover mode on that car real quick.
Gotta have the bunny hops. Rad going almost a little too wide there, but of course, again, in this section, it's so hard to pass.
This corner is a little deceiving because the curbing, it's off the wall, but you have to go right up to the inside wall to get that corner right.
Otherwise, those tires are going to eat you alive.
And you do not set up for the straight properly if you don't.
There I go. I managed to make the overtake finally.
Yep.
Getting my bearings somewhat back together.
Then I'm going to start attacking Rad. Oh, he attacks
Brad
back.
setting up for the switchback almost. But yeah, he manages to keep you off him while attacking me. And Ahab's not too far behind either. He's only about a second off the pace.
With 7 minutes of racing still to go. Oh, I go dive in. Oh, didn't spook him enough to take it. I'm still keeping it on his bumper.
Ooh, scraping the inside of that wall. Starting to see that paint scraping too on the cars. You can tell who's been a little more aggressive into some of these turns, but
as I said, I wasn't taking no for an answer this race. I was really pushing it.
And I totally get that. And thankfully we know at this track, if you do hit the wall too hard, it's going to stop you. If it's a scrape, it's a scrape. You'll lose some speed. You'll keep going.
Light.
Just like both of us there. Yeah.
But it wasn't enough to slow me down for that run down the straight.
I was not giving it up either. I'm squeezing him back there. But that's going to give you the chance to attack him. You can see it. You're setting up. Oh, and he squeezes you out. Nothing egregious, though. It's still fair. It is amazing in this race how much the top four are keeping it together. Because even Ahab, while he's not in the pack, he's staying with the pack.
It's some great battling at Long Beach right now.
And Finesse did manage to recover and pass Matt. We did miss that a little bit earlier. He currently has a 7-second gap on Matt. Look at them picking up the dirt from just inside the wall. That's beautiful.
Oh, you made a mistake.
I take it too wide. That's going to cost me bad. I'm going to probably fall out from this fight for a second. Oh, but that entry for myself. I am right back on you.
You did not want to let me get away there.
Not after having first place. No, I wanted it back. I've been running it all session. Up until this race, I had led every single first place lap except for that very last pass from Finesse in session 1 at Laguna Seca. But you two managed to pull away.
I'm going right on the inside there, taking it from Rad.
And there's the overtake. You have it. That is your line now. As me and Ahab follow in behind.
And then I go and hold it as tight as I could through this just to prevent them from getting by. But it wasn't enough.
And Ahab's side by side now, but he falls back. Look at that. Every lap following in, one after the other. This is a great fight for the top. And regardless where any of these four finish, we're all getting points. Because in our session, everybody gets points. It's based on the amount of drivers gets the more points to be in the session, but finishing anywhere in the top is good. So
I was making a couple of mistakes.
And Brad's definitely capitalizing on it. He's starting to eat at your rear end again. And given we only have about 3.5 minutes left in the race, he could make the conscious decision to actually help you push you up further up the track to try to pull away from me and Ahab. But
oh no, he doesn't quite get on the inside.
But it wasn't wonderful pressure.
But it didn't set him up as good for the straight because I kept my line. You were able to get on his inside
now because of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not quite there. It looks like he still has it for now.
Allowing me to get away though.
As we know with that 2x tire wear, everybody's going to be feeling it with this close, aggressive racing.
I think tire wear for me, I don't like focus on it too much, more or less. I'll just drive the car with how it feels. Some people definitely feel it after a long stint though.
Oh, there you go, pushing up the inside, making a move. But Rad keeps it ahead. Wonderful going around that outside.
It's definitely tight.
getting a little too aggressive trying to pass him in a section that, as I said previously, is not easy to do so.
It is not easy, but it's probably the best section to make the pass. You're coming into a hard braking zone.
For me personally, it's going into turn 1 or as we enter sector 3 in that other straight. Those are usually my favorite opportunities to pass and work my way up to the inside to force them out.
But now, since you guys are starting to battle really aggressively, I'm starting to pull away.
You definitely are, and let's see as we enter this turn. Ooh, that's a hard hit to that wall. As we can see, Rad just pulls away from me, getting almost a half second off.
What, defending from
and
the
now I'm
Hob?
fighting Hob actually is. Oh, I'm able to pull it back ahead, but I'm getting really aggressive going into these last few turns.
I'm about to say, I'm surprised the Hob hasn't tried to make any moves yet. He's just been following us around the track, but I think this is where he starts to really push.
Ideally, he should have the best tires going into these last 2 laps. Or no, this will be the final lap.
Yeah, white flag.
Even then, you can kind of see it. Nobody's really getting super big use of the edge of the track anymore. As that tire degradation is making everybody slow down just a tiny bit. Because at most, even an aggressive driver is going to be about 30 to 40% of their tires. The more clean and smooth drivers will be anywhere between 5 to 15% right now. And that 15% is where you do start to feel it in these corners.
With how hard we were pushing, we definitely were probably pretty low on tires, in the front especially. A lot of the braking and GAT power is in the front.
And as I said before, I love passing that straight as we see it there. I'm able to get right past Rad.
It's a great spot.
He is able to keep it around the inside. Let's see what happens in the hairpin as we enter into the final straight.
Oh, oh no, and there it is.
Ahab is able to take advantage into the last turn. Hiding back and forth for that whole race. Oh, it looks like we're seeing a replay of that just to be safe.
You tried to send it in and then didn't brake, and then he capitalized on it. Losing 2 spots.
Realistically, no fault. It was just purely a racing incident. And that's going to give you the win. Ahab 2nd place. Rad the 4th. Or no, are we entering one? No, we're entering one last lap, it looks like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're definitely still racing. So it looks like the timer might be a little off on the AI, but you're pulled ahead now. You have a 4-second gap.
This is a track I definitely enjoy a lot. So
it is a guilty pleasure for me, for sure. And the whole purpose behind picking this track is that Carlos, this is one of his less favorite tracks, so we wanted to give him a challenge. For me, it was Laguna Seca, because when I was practicing Laguna Seca, I was doing a lot worse.
Ooh, right into the tire barrier.
Yeah, that's going to be that tire wear. I did not get on the brakes a lot earlier than I should have, and there goes my 2nd place, unfortunately, and my front end as well.
And Rad's
back in his 2nd place.
But Hab's still not letting him get away. There might be a send into this last corner.
That's a good exit from Rad. But will Ahab be able to get it?
No, it's not enough.
No, like we said, the draft of these cars isn't super strong. And so that should be the race. Let's see. I'm wondering if that timer got messed up a little bit. It definitely did, because you're still pushing, so race is still going.
Yes.
I wonder, we may have done a 20-minute race for our final race since we did a shorter practice in qualifier. I think that's what this is. yes, everybody's still pushing, so the race is definitely still on. So Rad doesn't quite have that second place yet. But as long as you keep it clean, that first place should be yours within a few minutes.
Ooh.
And I'm gone there. The instant reset. Thankfully, the reset is allowed once your car has fully stopped. I was fully stopped.
Rad's still defending from a hub. As I'm just pulling away.
And so it looks like this may be our finale then.
Yeah, that's the final.
Yeah, they've slowed down. So yeah, congratulations on taking first, Darius. We know that's going to give you a lot of points in this session. It is Rad, followed by Ahab, followed by myself, followed by what looks to be Finesse as long as he gets to the end of this lap. And Matt unfortunately retired at some point earlier in the race. So that will be our session results. So congratulations again, Darius. Anything to say for that?
Nothing really. I was just really focused on making sure I didn't lose that race. After the last two races, I was definitely focused on getting it.
Laguna Seca was definitely unfortunate. And then Spielberg was also just quite unfortunate, but you definitely brought it back. You brought it to the points. I know for this brought you to third overall in the session, which did end you up with one of our opening season rewards. Finesse, I believe, managed to actually steal second place overall despite the performance here. But yeah, that's going to be our session 1 and wrapping up. This was really fun, and we're looking forward to our session 2 coming up here on March 22nd. We're going to try to be a lot quicker on the upload of the video, but we will be having those 2 races out soon. We're going to Virginia International and Historic Inland, so those will be some really fun races to be seeing.
Yeah.
And welcome back to the Desert Rats Racing League for Session 4, Race 2 at Montreal in the historic layout of 1988. Race 1 showed a lot from our new drivers, but will they be able to keep it up today? On pole position, we do in fact have Zingy still leading the pack. And right behind him is newcomer Chris, followed by John. And in fourth, we have Shift Darius, former runner-up for Season 0. Captain Ahab in 5th, Raccoon in 6th. Shift Finesse in 7th, Shift Rat Viper in 8th, and Get Me 240s from the Shift group in 9th. Let's go ahead and hop into our race today, and we'll hand it off to the broadcaster's box.
Fantastic to be staying in Canada. Another fantastic circuit. Drop the clutch. Go, go, go at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Zinging away beautifully. But it is a super narrow lead ahead of Chris Worth, who's hoping for a cleaner run here on lap 1 than he had in Mosport. That's contact already. Captain Ahab, that is a pinball effect. Captain Ahab making contact, I think, with several drivers. He's at the back of the grid. Let's go back and see exactly what went down as he goes towards the all-important left-right of turn 1. He brakes to the outside here of John, and then gets a tag from the back, and then, oh, it is an absolute melee. Raccoon picks up as the innocent party and all of that. The cars are still clanging and banging into one another through turn 2. They'll be hoping that a pace car shows up any moment. Let's have a look. It's a full retirement from Finesse, who goes, tries to do the smart thing here and stay out of the run, and then gets T-boned by, I think, the blue driver in the blue Mini momentarily there. Chris Worth, though, meanwhile, has got himself ahead of Paulman Zingy, unseen, but Chris Worth leading ahead, and Zingy demoted down into second position as they head down Pont de la Concorde into turn 6 and 7. Zingy with a lot of catching up left to do. This track, of course, famously low grip. It's a fast point and squirt into some big stops as well. Lots of low speed cornering and high-speed straights as they head down in towards turn 8 and 9. It's a difficult chicane. You can see it's a lot wider than the modern day version of the circuit, but it's heading down towards the hairpin, or so-called Lippingle, for the first time into turn 10, and Zingy sweeping the car nicely into the hairpin. All drivers, of course, using every inch of the available asphalt on the exit, and then it's a long drag down this straightaway just outside the boating lake to the driver's left. They won't care about that right now, and we head through the chicane at a frightening pace before heading in towards the final chicane, and of course the wall of champions that they'll be hoping not to make contact with. There is the wall of champions, and oh, there goes. Was that Darius in the background hopping right up into the air? I think we're going to see that again. A wall collision warning, and there's the retired car parked up. Wall collision warning for Darius. That was a little bit over the edge of acceptable level of contact, but Crisworth leads by just 44 thousandths of a second. Sorry, 44 hundredths of a second, but it's very short-lived as he gets over the curb slightly too much. We've seen this before with the minis. You need to use but not abuse those tall curbs, because they will certainly cause these stiffly sprung little minis with the high centre of gravity. They'll cause them to tip quite violently, and of course as the car slams back down, there's just not enough room on the bump stops of suspension to carry on with your normal racing line. Zingy then straight back into the lead, but Chris with his hot on his heels. So is John, and Darius chasing him down here despite making significant contact with the wall of champions. Maybe that's a good sign as Get Me 240s watches on and chases on. Raccoon not at the moment setting the world alight on his voyage out to Canada. He'll be hoping that this can be corrected very soon. Zingy just getting ahead on the way out of Lippingle as they run down the Boating Lake Straight and heading the Casino Straight technically as they head through the fast chicane. Plenty of opportunities still to get that slipstream, get the draft as they head down and in towards the final chicane facing that wall of champions once again. You've got to use those curbs, but there's no grip on the exit of the corner. Here is John then with a fantastic run out of the chicane. It's the start of lap 3, and John will have the inside line heading into turn 1, and he sweeps across the nose. That looked like possibly Darius getting into it a little bit there with Crisworth, but Crisworth certainly managing to stay ahead at this point, and they head in towards the chicane of turns 3 and 4. Deceptively slow chicane, that one, and then it's this low grip exit, fast and furious as they head back down then to the chicane, the left right of turn 6 and 7. It's John in that second position now, a whole second out to the leader of the race, Zingy, having a tremendous couple of sessions here with Desert Rats Racing League. But side by side go Crisworth and John, and Darius loose once again, and another major contact with the Armco barrier. And a final warning then. I mean, I'm not sure that receiving a warning, it's that little bit of dirt he caught on the wheels underneath the bridge, and then obviously trying to right the car. And this front wheel drive, very difficult once the back end has slipped away from you to wrestle control back. But Darius fast but loose at the moment, and heading down into Lippingle hairpin corner. John right and hot on the heels of Chris with Get Me 240s is in 4th place. Raccoon up to 5th. Darius down to 6th, staying ahead surprisingly at this stage of Captain Ahab, who is not enjoying life at the moment in P7. Rat Viper in 8th, and of course our retiree Finesse showing on the tower in P9 at the moment, but obviously was not able to continue. How about that from Raccoon? Still hopping the car along on the way through the fast chicane on the back straight, the Casino Straight. and it's the start of lap 4. Darius into the wall. Now, will that trigger the stewards once again? He did make contact. That was after his final warning, but I think he got away with it. Look at the pitch of the car as he slams on the brakes, and the center of gravity shifts towards the front axle. Scrapes the splitter, heads out onto the grass. Darius looking a little bit desperate out there on this particular day. Car number 60, Chris, with just opening a little bit of daylight between himself and John. Zingy hanging on to the lead at the moment, and still the fastest driver on the track, a 1:47.2. His lead now 1.4 seconds as they head towards the halfway point of our race. And then you've got, just in the background here for P4, Get Me 240s, Raccoon has the sort of dramatic driver Darius hard on and hot on his heels, and once again you see Raccoon just getting the stiffly sprung Mini airborne. Darius slips on through, and he's straight on focus to the British Racing green, British flag roofed Get Me 240s, who's running a high of 4th at this stage. Chris within 2nd. Good gap now to John, and his focus very much forwards on the potential win. Here is Get Me 240s with Darius chasing him down. Darius with a very bent and battered Mini Cooper in the blue, and we almost get run over by the camera there, and smashing into the wall again from Darius. And what is happening now? We've got a grid penalty, loss of control, back into the wall again for Darius. That is now a confirmed grid penalty. He was certainly riding his luck there, the 000 car with the Huiskenveld sponsorship on the roof, but unfortunately he's not quite able to get the braking performance out of his pedals that he was hoping for. But yeah, certainly getting the car pitched very well in towards turn 2, but yeah, it's now going to suffer a grid penalty. Captain Ahab chasing down Raccoon there in the background of this battle. They are side by side, great rivals these two, and it looks like Captain Ahab will have the slight advantage, having the right hand of the circuit on a clockwise circuit. That's going to help him. Here are the current standings. Raccoon ahead of Finesse, and Darius and John tied on points at the moment. John, though, is going to take a step forward there and an advantage into the next race over Darius for 3rd place, so probably consolidating that 3rd place. Looks like Get Me 240's braking very hard on the inside, might suffer on the way out, and Raccoon, season 0 champion, and he does drive a 2014 Mini Cooper S, so he should be good in these cars, quite frankly, although I'm sure the road going version is somewhat more forgiving in its setup for Raccoon, and he's not driving it at anything like these speeds, or not at least on speed limited roads. We've got Get Me 240s in P4 heading through the Casino straight and chicane now. There is Darius. It's lap 6. Something flying up off the road surface. It's a part. It's the hood. It's the hood of Darius back against the wall once again. A second final warning. So the final warning for Darius. This is going to be another penalty, but he doesn't know that in the moment, of course. Very late on the brakes, losing a little bit of aero performance. I would have thought he'd be having a great deal more drag with the engine head fully exposed at this stage. Side by side, gives a little kiss to Get Me 240s in so doing, but clearly very much in a hurry at the moment. Here is on board with Get Me 240s as he looks down in towards the tricky turn 6 and 7, slowest chicane on the circuit anyway, and trying to get that power down once again. We've seen Darius go wrong through the Wall of Champions at least twice. We've seen him go wrong on the approach to the next corner. He's certainly pushing as hard as anyone on the circuit at the moment, the number 20, and there goes Captain Ahab very late on the brakes and running out of room, and Raccoon doing exactly the same thing directly behind him, but to a greater extent. What's happening here? As all 4 drivers apparently going long. What's happening? Well, we've got the replay with Darius. He avoids the wall this time. Raccoon went wide, but yeah, just to show all 4 cars running very deep onto the brakes. It's lap 6 of the 9. They head into Le Bingo. Will we get some contact? Not quite. Get Me 240s will say that's exactly what he played for, but it was a little bit too tight for comfort, and then he hits the wall on the way out of Le Pingle and onto the Casino Straight. This is the Wall of Champions. Your battle at the lead of the race is 1.2 seconds between Zingy and Chris Worth, as Darius in that 4th place holds on for now, but this is the danger zone for Darius. Can he make it through? He just about holds on and stays on the asphalt this time. Of course, as soon as you get 1 inch of grass, you've lost ideal traction and you're heading towards that wall. His fender is hanging. It's dragging on the track, but Darius is determined to finish this race, come what may, whatever condition his Mini is in, and if it's just good for scrap value by the end of the race. Through we go, turns 3 and 4. This is Get Me 240s, certainly suffering a little bit in terms of outright speed, but has a lot more consistency so far in the race. Surely Darius's tyres will fade before the end of this race around the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. Missing quite a bit of the modern day scenery and expo backdrop. I wonder if that's an easy cop-out for AMS to reduce the frame rate droppage if they're doing it that way. But all the same, the circuit remains the same and the drivers don't care about the scenery. Here comes Chris Worth. He's got that gap to under a second. He's biding his time, and it's 2 hot laps at the end of the race is the plan, I think, here, to really put the pressure on Zingy that he didn't suffer in motorsport. So Chris Worth now, who hasn't had the same setbacks he suffered in the previous Canadian round. Well, that was about ideal. I thought it was on the edge, but it was about an ideal run through the Wall of Champions. Here is John doing the same thing. Just lift the wheels slightly as they start the penultimate lap. You can see the detritus and dust and dirt down there. Zingy, debuting Desert Rats, has led every lap so far. Does that make him your driver of the day? We'll see if he can finish it off in the style in which he has begun. But now the front fender completely missing. The front radiator, well, the only radiator fully exposed on Darius's car. But these guys are 16 plus seconds away from the lead of the race, which is now down to 0.8 of a second. Only John on his own, 9 seconds away. Pretty certain of being 3rd place position today. Captain Ahab is now catching Darius and Get Me 240s for that 4th position. Raccoon not far away, and Rat Viper still working the wheel and doing his absolute best here down in P8. Remember that we lost Finesse, sadly, earlier on. Well, it is Zingy leading by 0.7 of a second. Get Me 240s is even closer, just 0.3 of a second, and going long and deep on the brakes. It's the old Verstappen braking trick. Unfortunately, he couldn't hold on, and now he hits the wall after contact with Darius, running a driver off track. A 2nd grid penalty given to Darius post-race as Captain Ahab tries to stake a claim here for P4. Darius, wow, that is a huge drift. He'll be so grateful there's a big runoff on the exit of Le Bingle, and running through then, careful of that barrier on the inside, is Captain Ahab, and starting the final lap of the race, Zingy leading by nearly 0.9 of a second. Now that was a hot lap for him. Retired driver Darius, he's now got 2 total grid penalties applied after the race, so a day to forget for him, but one to remember for the lessons learned, perhaps. Captain Ahab, P4 now, in fact, as Get Me 240s is in that 5th place. Darius slipping down after getting the car into the garage, and it's not particularly straight in the garage either. This is Darius and his retirement, just showing sort of the lowlights of Darius's race for a moment. But now Chris Worth dials up the pressure. They run through turns 3 and 4, sorry, turns 6 and 7 now, and this final lap is really hotting up. Just half a second separating these two. Zingy really feeling the pressure here. What can Chrisworth do? What kind of a window can he find? Is there a chink in the armour of Zingy as they go down towards Lepingo? A really good opportunity here to make the overtake or to get a slipstream coming out of the corner. He goes slightly wider. That gives him the impetus, the ability to put the power down slightly earlier for Chrisworth than normal. And 0.4 of a second, it's dropping, but is it dropping by enough? Heading down towards the casino chicane they go. High speed section of track. It looks like Chrisworth is too far away. It looks like Zingy might be able to make it a double victory since he started here with us at Desert Rats Racing League through the Wall of Champions. That was the only drama left to go, and Zingy crosses the line to win in Montreal. What a great performance, and this time he was pushed much further by Chrisworth in second place. John crosses the line and claims third with Captain Ahab out there. And here, back to the studio.
And that brings us with 40s in 5th place, followed by Raccoon, Rat Viper, and Darius and Finesse did not finish the race. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for joining us in the Desert Rats Racing League. Alrighty. Welcome back to Raccoon Racing. We are currently watching Eltham attempt to get back to the pits. But it looks like they're getting there, and it looks like as we were tuning back in, Passos here managing to take pole position with a 1:22.2. That's an impressive lap time, followed by the Goose is Loose, notorious in the Raccoon Racing Productions. He is currently with a 1:23, nearly flat, followed by Spoozer behind him with a 1:24.8, and Garrow with a 1:24.9. We got 6.5 minutes left on the clock. We'll go ahead and cut back to our corkscrew cam just for now as we go ahead and go over a few things with these races. This is the Open Broadcast League. No points, no competitiveness, just a bunch of chaos and letting an open lobby race while I commentate on it. Currently, we are going to Laguna Seca. As you can see, we have that timer on 60 times speed as we were going through the night and day cycle on this corkscrew cam in our qualifier break. We've got a large grid today, almost a full pack, 30 cars out of the possible 31. We can't get 32 as I have to be in the race itself. What we're going to go ahead and do while these drivers are finishing setting their lap, we're going to go ahead and add every driver in the lobby. And let them know. Almost through the friends list, I think. the friends requests have been sent out. Let's go ahead and get back to our camera now. As we get to the track side, we'll get to that corkscrew cam. Oh, we passed it. It's coming. I can feel it. There it is. Only 3 minutes left on the clock now, and a few extra minutes just to get their last qualifying laps in. Thank you, Suzuki, for the follow. This is a new thing we're trying out today and going to be doing on the Raccoon Racing YouTube and Twitch channel going forward is going to be the open lobby broadcast. And this is going to be where I'm going to open up these lobbies to anybody to join, and I'm going to be commentating them for them live. So that way you guys can come back here and watch your races be commentated for free while getting to enjoy a race of your choosing. We're going to be mixing it up these next few races, starting with these GT3s after finishing 2 multi-class races with the GT3s, 4s, and LMP1 cars. Those are some chaotic and interesting races, but we could definitely see the confusion happening between the multi-class cars, so we've decided to even out the playing field for the rest of today's sessions. It's a beautiful day here in Suzuka with the track at 20 degrees Celsius and the air is 14 degrees Celsius itself. Low wind with dry track and clear skies. It's going to be an interesting, clean race hopefully today. I say that with absolutely no hope in my heart because this is an open lobby. We know how these things go. They're all about the chaos. We're here to see who survives, not who wins. And as we take a look over at the scoreboard, we do see that Passos has pitted for the rest of this session, claiming that pole position with nearly a second ahead of the Goose is Loose with that 122.24. That is a beautiful lap from Passos, but the Goose is Loose not too far behind with that near 23 flat with that .016. An amazing lap indeed. These two are hopefully going to fly away at the start of the lap. The Goose is Loose saying he did have a possible good lap coming, but it was binned, so that was an abandoned lap for him. We have Garrow rounding up the podium position possibilities with 123.8, nearly 8 tenths off of the Goose is Loose, followed by Phoenix, Dambros, Spoozer, Arturo, Marine, Kuza, Poliorni, iTries, Mosa, Broforce, Mad Max, HPW, Eden, Jose, that's a Jose name, Baranga, Brun, Ben Victor, Fur, PZ, Maining, Kami, Eltham, Mycotron, Flood, Prolinian, Zunig, and myself as the commentator there in the 30th position. We still have one more slot open. And welcome again to everybody who's joining us today. If you haven't already, please feel free to follow the channel. Will be doing live commentary going forward on these public races, and when I am not doing actual live, we have replays of the Desert Rats Racing League, a league that I have professionally commentated by another wonderful commentator by the name of Webo Commentary in the Mini Coopers for this game, the JCW Mini Coopers. That league runs once a month and usually hosts between 2 to 3 races, points based on the amount of drivers that show up per session. If you'd be interested in that, feel free to type !league in the chat or type !Discord to join the league Discord. We also have an upcoming series with the Twin Snakes Racing League, being a feature series of team racing with the Ginetta G40 and G55 Super Cup. Teams will be a pair of drivers, one racing the 40, one racing the 55. 3 championships in total with 2 drivers championships and a team championship. So even if your teammates can't make it, you still have something to strive towards. These will be monthly featurette races with Desert Rats Racing and Twin Snakes Racing. That is what we do here at Raccoon Racing Productions. We provide free races monthly for you to be able to arrive and drive and have a good time with other drivers from around the world. We've got 40 seconds left on the qualifying clock here. As we go ahead, I will go ahead and get this recording started as we can talk about the entries. So as our qualifying session wraps up, it looks like the Goose is Loose is able to come out on top with a last-second lap. He originally had somebody ahead of him, but it looks like they abandoned the race for now. But he's going to be followed by Garrow in the second place position, Phoenix in third, and Leandro in fourth. We'll go ahead and talk about the rest of the grid here in a moment as we load into the next session. Actually, it looks like we do still have a moment. So we have Spoozer in fifth, iTries in sixth, Arturo in seventh, Maniac Marine in eighth, Kuza in ninth, Polo Ernie 007 in 10th, Moza in 11th, Broforce, Mad Max, HPW, Eden, Jose, Brun, Lef Manning, Baranga, Fur, PZ, Ben Victor, Kami, Eltham, Microtron, Flood, and Zunig to wrap up the rest of the pack. We have 27 drivers here on the track today. I will not be in this session as I am here to provide you with commentary. We have a minute and a half left till the start of the race. Let's go ahead and get into it. About 30 seconds left on the clock now as we get ready to head into this race session. The warning bells are ringing now as we get 15 seconds left on the clock. All right, and we are off with the Goose is Loose, leading the pack. A great launch off. Let's go ahead and get our information up on the board. Leading our way down into the first two turns of Laguna Seca. Let's make sure there's no chaos as we come around into turns 2 and 3. Looks like the front runners are able to make it around. I don't see any drivers off the track yet, other than on the other side. I do see somebody in the 23rd and 24th position. It looks like Brun has gone off track and maybe Ben Victor as well. The Goose is Loose, leading off with a half-second gap from Phoenix. Garrow and Spoozer chasing from behind as well with the rest of the grid on their tail. Once again, the Goose is Loose, leading the pack and not giving any headway to Phoenix. Phoenix is going to have to try hard to get a pass on Goose is Loose, notorious in Raccoon Racing Productions for being a newcomer in the Desert Rat Racing League and dominating in the top podium spots every race. But Phoenix isn't giving up just yet. He's chasing into the corkscrew. Ooh, it looks like our game got a little bit of a issue here, maybe a desync. There we go, we've got that fixed. Apologies for that issue. And we're starting to see the first few drivers drop out of the track. We've had 28 at the start, we're down to 25. That's 3 drivers gone. As Phoenix getting a little loose on the exit in the last turn, Giro might be able to capitalize on that if he gets in the draft soon enough. Incredible racing from our front runners here, but let's take a look in the back of the pack because I do see a group coming and forming with Kuza, Dambros, and oh, we see contact. That's going to be a lot of damage for the drivers into that turn. Looks like Mad Max was able to slide by as well as iTries, HPW, and Jose. We're going to be seeing some drivers returning to the pits after that as he makes a bold dive around the outside to make it into that turn. Double taking, 2 overtakes from our driver in the 17 car. Beautiful. I believe that is D'Ambrose. No, that is Mad Max. He's blowing through. If he keeps up this pace, he'll be able to break away from the rest of the pack and start making an attack on Polo up there. And we do see ahead, the Goose is Loose still leading by about a second in front of Garrow. Polo having to chase after them from behind with a 5-second gap with Mad Max and D'Ambrose right on his tail. I tries catching up as well. HPW leading the rest of the pack in the back from 7th place. Oh, and it looks like we may have had some more drivers off in the corkscrew. And once again, the Goose is Loose, leading now by a 1.5 seconds. He's building up that gap every sector. But Garrow is still chasing him with nobody behind him. Polo being the one who's having to struggle with D'Ambrose on his tail. And D'Ambrose himself also dealing with Jose behind. And welcome in anybody to the chat. I appreciate the feedback. It's always welcomed. It looks like we are having some issues with our camera today. I don't know why my game is doing that. Hasn't been doing it for the other races, but oh well, we will deal with what we've got to deal with. And as we take a look, it looks like Garrow is still making that attack. Polo has broken free from the rest of the group, so he is in that 3rd position comfortably. Jose being attacked from behind by D'Ambrose still. And he's off the track. That's going to be tragic for Jose. And it looks like we had another driver off in the back as well. With that is Jose still. Let's go ahead and cut up ahead towards the corkscrew. Come on. I know our camera will give it to us at some point. There we go. As our drivers come through, that is going to be the 2 and 3 position cars with Polo, Garrow, D'Ambrose, Flood coming through. There is going to be Moza, Eden, Mad Max, I Tries, and Marine. Arturo, HPW. And here we come. We have one more coming through in the 13th position. There is going to be Kami coming into the hairpin. Not the hairpin, the corkscrew, I apologize. Let's get our cameras fixed for a moment. Oh, and what happened there? There we go. I'm not too sure what was going on with that camera there. But we are back on track now with the Goose is Loose with a 7-second gap to Polo, leading with another 5 seconds or so to D'Ambrose and Flood behind. We're seeing some intense racing though. We're on 7th position. Mad Max trying to catch up to Eden to attack that 6th place position, but he has Marine and Arturo right behind him. And it looks like Micatron is dealing with a pit stop that appears to be possibly 5 minutes or more long. He's going to have to hope for some carnage to happen in front of him to mix up some of those laps. And we see a bumper go off as another driver is off the track. That looks like it might have been Marine is off with a broken bumper and broken car in general. And Flood is starting to make a gap closer to D'Ambrose up here as they come up towards the corkscrew. Moza and Mad Max not too far behind with Eden and Arturo chasing down the corkscrew. Laguna Seca proving, oh no, and there goes Mad Max off into the turn. He needs to get on the brakes, but thankfully nobody hits him as Moza and Flood make it by, and Arturo does as well here in a second. Eden coming down with HPW, passing Mad Max as they enter into the last turn. That's going to be unfortunate for him. We do see up ahead that D'Ambrose is still being chased down slowly but surely by Flood. And then if we look back into the 6th position, Arturo is being chased down by Eden as well as we enter into the nighttime portion of our race. Headlights are coming on, reflections shining off the mirrors of our drivers' cars. Arturo having a little bit of space now to breathe and set some clean laps. Hopefully he'll be able to make use of that time as we enter into the 18th minute remaining. Moza still being chased down by Arturo. And HPW and Eden seem to have gone off the track. A bit of a collision, which is going to give Mad Max his position back from earlier in 7th place. He's going to slide through in that portion of the corkscrew, almost freaking out over a ghost car. How spooky. I believe that was the ghost of Kami. Or no, it looks like it's another back marker further back. Not too sure which car that is. It looks maybe possibly to be the 18 of Eltham. It does appear so, yes. As we come back, D'Ambrose is still being again chased down by the flood, with Moza and Arturo in a battle of their own. But Kami and Phoenix almost coming together before the corkscrew. That would be bad to have happen again and again. And unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be Kami off of the track, with Phoenix being able to overtake him. He's going to win that battle for now. And as we look ahead, Arturo is starting to make pace on Moza, and the same thing cannot be said for Flood, as he's lost 6 seconds to D'Ambrose. But in the meantime, D'Ambrose is making his way towards Polo. He might be able to chase down that 2nd place position as they come up towards the corkscrew. Our camera's giving us a little bit of trouble here. Here we go as they come into the corkscrew. Using the banking to slide his car in and get as much acceleration out at the turn as possible. He is chasing down Polo now. He wants that 2nd place position. And if our drivers were being attentive and aware, they are going to be aware. Ooh, there's a car coming back onto the track. That looks to be our number 12 position car, I Tries. He needs to try a little harder to keep the car on the pace. And it looks like we have another driver off in 15th with Zuniga going off before the corkscrew. Looks like that might be a retirement for him. Once again, D'Ambrose doing his best to chase down Polo as they come up to some of the back markers coming out of the pits. Some beautiful driving from our front runners here. The Goose is Loose dominating the pack as he makes his way through the back markers, but Polo and D'Ambrose putting on an amazing clean race here. And Flood doing his best to make up some pace from earlier. As they make their way past another back marker, it looks like to be the number 17 position car of Micatron. Or I apologize, that was the number 11 of Kami. 11th position, not 11th car number. I apologize for that confusion. And that is going to be our safety car. It looks like they are going to be coming out of the pit, I believe. I couldn't tell if the sign was just for the yellow flag or if we are entering the safety car period. We'll see here in a moment. I believe I am mistaken, as the drivers are still going on. Let's go ahead and get onto the cockpit cams. That will give us a better idea. As we ride with the Gooses Loose, flying in first place with a 19-second gap. Struggled a little bit at the start, but he's definitely shown why he is a fierce competitor and why you should never let him be loose. A little bit more about the Gooses Loose. As we said, he is a driver in the Raccoon Racing Productions Desert Rat Racing League. Joining only recently with only, I believe, 2 or 3 sessions under his belt now. He's made a dominating charge through the pack of points, making an impressive feat in our double point session of getting on the podium in both of our races. Ooh, and I spoke too soon. He is off the track. He's going to need to recover quickly before Polo catches up to him, with Flood not far behind. Looks like he's having a quiet drive there now with Polo in his little car. The Nissan, the Nismo, the red and white stripes, beautiful car with the Motel sponsorship. Modal, yeah, Modal, not Motel. I don't know why I said Motel. And ooh, it looks like the Flood has gone off and smacked into the wall. That might be some damage to his front right end. As 2 more drivers entering the corkscrew, we have Moza being chased down by Arturo. Arturo in the Logitech branded McLaren. Sorry, not Logitech. That front end made it look like it. That is actually a Fanatec livery. Getting my sponsors wrong. But he is going after Moza. There's a car on the track, causing some issues from Arturo. Is this looking like he's about to be some menacing fights? Or is that HPW? That is not HPW making the attack on them. Is this driver going to attempt to make a kill blow? Looks like to be it's the car of I Tries. He is braking. That is definitely some retaliation there. We're going to go ahead and give I Tries a warning. That is going to be our verbal warning to him. That is the chaos of public lobbies, though. People let the motions get the best of them, because what do they have to lose? It is just for fun, isn't it? It's definitely for our enjoyment tonight, as we are in the open broadcast sessions of Raccoon Racing Productions, where we take open lobbies and we commentate over them live, watching the chaos, seeing the survival. We know we started this race with 30 cars on the grid, and we're down to 13 now. We're truly seeing the strongest survivors out here in Automobilista 2 in the GT3 category. Once again, we see Polo's being chased down by Flood. We'll go ahead and join Flood in the cockpit camera, seeing that nighttime chase happen in real time. As we enter into the first two turns of Sector 1 at Laguna Seca, it looks like Polo has a pretty good entry, but will Flood be able to get a better exit to chase him down? Not quite. The Audi not able to catch up to the Nismo, but we know the Audi's going to be able to slide through the turns a lot better since it doesn't have a massive wing like the Nismo. And at Laguna Seca, being able to have that slip angle is important to half these turns. That way you can maneuver your car into a position that lets you go ahead. And it looks like Mad Max has retired. The man having a brutal session of sim racing today. No doot. Mad Max today. And it looks like Polo has made a mistake in the Nissan, allowing Flood to overtake towards the corkscrew. Let's go ahead and cut to our camera. Oh no, we're going to miss the action. What is happening? Here we go. And he's able to make it by. Flood is breaking loose towards Goose. He has to run away from Polo now. As we look back, though, we can see that Phoenix is being chased down by HPW in the McLaren there. Looks like he may have had some scrape damage. I'm not too sure, though, as we cut back to Flood and the battle with Polo, Audi versus Nissan tonight at Laguna Seca. And if you are enjoying what you're seeing here tonight, definitely feel free to give us a follow. We plan to do more sessions like this of the open broadcasting system, where I will be going into these open lobbies and broadcasting and commentating live on them, so you can enjoy races without having to worry about getting into a league or anything like that. Simply arrive, show up, and drive. Anything you do to support the channel here does go back into prize rewards for any Raccoon Racing Productions series, such as the Desert Rats Racing League or the Twin Snakes Racing League. Both free to enter and hosted through Automobilista 2 by myself, Raccoon Racing, here on Twitch and on YouTube. It is going to be Rack Racing, RACC, RACING. And again, as we see, Flood is getting to break away from Polo here as we enter into the 11th lap with 10 minutes left to go. We still haven't seen that safety car come out. I'm going to have to double check those settings, as we've only been seeing it come out towards the end of the race. It's definitely a little strange. We'd rather see it come out at least at the 50% mark. And if you are interested in racing like this or the commentary, definitely feel free to join our Discord with the Desert Rats Racing League Discord, soon to be rebranded to the Raccoon Racing Productions Discord. Our goal here is to provide fun racing, chaotic racing for these public sessions for you to watch, and free to enter leagues. We don't only just feature Automobilista 2, we are planning to expand to other series with partnering up with leagues to be editing and commentating for them here in the future. We are working currently with the Shift E-Racing group with an iRacing league called Roadmasters, where they will be hosting the GT3s and Formula 4s in monthly races that do have cash rewards. It is a $5 entry for the series, but that $5 can go towards a lot. Otherwise, we've also recently worked with the Goose's Loose's other league that he races in, Opa Racing, which is also a GT3 category, showing how dominating he is in these cars and why. We've recently provided a free quick mashup video for them after a race I've participated in with them. They are wonderful racers. Glad to have done some work for them. And their feedback was amazing as well. I got to wake them up that morning to Christmas tree present, you know? And it looks like Flood really has broken away from Polo at this point. The Goose is loose still with an 18-second gap and won't be touched. The only real challenge right now looking like it's if Moza can catch up to Polo or Phoenix can be caught up by HPW. But we do know that safety car is coming soon. We're going to have to keep an eye out on the side of the track to see if that sign lights up with the safety car. That will give our drivers one last final sprint. As we see another driver off, it's going to be the 7th place position of Garrow. As we drive into the night, it's looking like our track has actually warmed up a little bit from the start. I don't believe it was 19 degrees when we started on the track. These tires are definitely doing their job, putting it down, putting some rubber out. That is it. That's going to be the safety car signal. I can see it there over in the camera. We're going to go ahead and take a break from the commentary while our safety car rolls out. You'll be able to take a look at the race board itself while the car is going to keep an eye out on who pits and what does what. As we see a car slide out in front of the safety car, that's not a good look. All right, we will be right back with Raccoon Racing Productions and Automobilista 2. As we come back, the pack is now back together. The Goose is loose is going to be chased by Flood, and we currently see Polo is trying to make his way back up with Moza behind him. And our safety car is in. That's going to be the restart. Nobody was able to catch up aside from Flood, but that's going to give the Gooses Loose a new challenge. The Flood didn't get quite a good launch, though, on the restart. Looks like he's stuck behind a back marker at the moment. It's going to give the Gooses Loose a good chance, but as we took a look back, Polo is going to be chased down by Moza on the restart. We've got 4 minutes left on the clock. That's going to give our drivers a couple of laps to go. For taking a look at the best laps, we see a minute 23 being the best lap from the Gooses Loose. So we're going to be expecting at least 4 to 5 more laps here at Laguna Seca tonight. And once again, as we said, we're currently watching Moza chasing down Polo. Let's go ahead and join him in the onboard, see what it's like for these drivers tonight as we come into the morning, dusk, dawn. This is going to be the dawn, not the dusk, my silly self. Here we go. The switchback attempt to be made, but he's not quite sticking it down like he needs to be to catch up to Polo. Polo in that Nissan going perfect exit almost towards the corkscrew. It's going to be hard for Moza to catch up. As we see them coming down, let's get the camera going and working, please. There we go. There's our corkscrew camera. As we can see, Moza's chasing him down. Flood a little bit too far behind the Goose is Loose with a 3.5 second gap. 4 seconds. Oh no, did Flood go off the track? It does look like he has. He's hit the barrier. That looks like it's terminal damage. That's going to be unfortunate for Flood after making his way up into second place. There it is. That is the retirement. As the other two come around, here comes Polo and Moza down the back or the front straight. Will he make an attempt at some deep diving or late braking? Let's find out. He's going to go around the outside. Polo doing a great job of defending. And it looks like he's not able to quite stick the move. It's going to lead Polo in that second place position at the moment. But Moza doing everything he can. They're touching bumper to rear end. As they come into Sector 2, here they come. They're going to be going down into the wide left-hander up towards the corkscrew. Shifting down to third gear, I believe. It's going to be second for Moza, though, as he makes an attempt at that switchback once again. Polo dipping into the dirt. Maybe hungry for that second place victory. He doesn't want to give up third place yet, now that we had another driver disqualify themselves. Only 8 drivers remain from the 30 that started. The Goose is Loose leading the pack by 22 seconds, insanely, after that safety car reset. This is going to be the focus of the end of our event for today. At Laguna Seca, Polo and Moza providing us the commentary and racing we deserve with free broadcasting. And almost into the pits, he doesn't quite get the safe exit he needs into the last 2 turns. It's going to compromise his exit, but maybe with the draft he'll be able to keep up on Polo as the crowd goes wild in the stands. Here they come again, down into turn 1 and 2. Polo really keeping it down and maintaining the line he needs to, but Moza is going to be able to benefit from that draft as they come around, entering into Sector 2 here soon. A little bit of contact as the 2 drivers keep battling each other head to head in this reset. And as we look at the grid, we currently have the Goose is Loose, followed by Polo, Moza, Phoenix, HPW, Brun, Broforce, and Microtron. They've made it to the end of this race through sheer force and determination. Because in the end, even though if Mike is down 10 minutes, he still beat, let's count that, 22 other drivers in this race. Simply by keeping his head up and his wheel straight. Moza once again trying to make an attack onto Polo as we enter into the last laps of this race. We do see the timer has disappeared, meaning we are on the final lap. The Goose is Loose leading by 26 seconds now from that 22-second gap we saw before. The blue flags are out for the cars behind. We're looking at the 8th and 7th position of Microtron and Broforce coming down into the front straight, blocking Polo and Moza. But they are racing their own race as well. Microtron trying to catch up to Broforce to make an overtake. Ooh, and that looks like that is going to be Moza spinning out. That's going to guarantee Polo the victory if he's able to keep his track or his car on the track. As we take a look, that is going to be the Goose is Loose coming into the corkscrew. Or I should say, coming out of it, he has once again broken loose from the pack, living up to his name, speeding along with that 23-second gap. The camera's not wanting to do what they're supposed to be doing. He enters into the final turn of the track, and that is going to show the Goose is Loose as our GT3 winner at Laguna Seca.